This is Mrs. Afroz Patan. I am an assistant professor in Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry and Analysis, School of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Vistas. I am going to talk about Iupac nomenclature. Iupac stands for International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Iupac is the world authority on chemical nomenclature, a system of naming compounds in chemistry, terminology including the naming of new elements in the periodic table, its standardized methods for measurement, atomic weights, and many other critically evaluated data. It develops and maintains recommendations that create a common language for global chemistry community. Now we will discuss how we can name an organic compound using IUPAC nomenclature. IUPAC name consists of four words, that is prefix, root word, primary suffix and secondary suffix. Here we can see an example where 3-methyl is considered as prefix, but is considered as word root, and ene is considered as primary suffix, and ol is considered as secondary suffix. Now we will discuss how these were assigned for naming an organic compound in detail. So word root, it is the name corresponding to the number of carbon atoms present in the longest chain in an organic compound. Here, according to the number of carbon atoms present in the longest chain, we represent Greek and Latin words for word root as meth, eth, prop, and but for a single or two or three carbon containing compounds. Prefix, it is a word attached at the beginning of organic compound. Prefix generally corresponds to the presence of substances or functional groups which are considered as substances in an organic compound. Generally, prefixes are divided into two types, primary prefix and secondary prefix. Primary prefix. The functional groups can be written as prefix is based on the priority order. If more than two functional groups are present in the same compound, one is considered as prefix and other is considered as main functional group. Here we have given the list of functional groups according to the priority order. Suppose if both carboxylic acid and OH comes in the same compound, then OH is considered as a substituent and it is written as a prefix, and whereas COH is considered as a main functional group and it will be written at the end. This prefix is also the word which helps us to distinguish between a cyclic and an alicyclic compound. The prefix cyclo is used for alicyclic compounds. Here if we see an example, cyclopentane. This cyclo represents the cyclic compound and as written in the prefix. Secondary prefix. Certain groups in organic chemistry are only written as prefixes, means every time they are considered as substituents in IUPAC nomenclature. So if you see an example over here, 2-chlorobutane. Chlorine, every time it is written as a prefix only. Never you can written as butane chloride. So chlorine, every time it is considered as prefix. And some other elements like this are nitro compounds, alkoxy compounds. So all these compounds will be generally written as secondary prefixes. Coming to the suffix. Primary suffix indicates about the nature of carbon chain which is being selected. So if a compound is saturated, then we have to write a primary suffix as ane, and if it is unsaturated, it may be ene, ine, or diene or diine likewise. Secondary suffix, it defines the functional group which is present in an organic compound. Here we have given the list of functional groups and its corresponding prefix and suffixes names accordingly, which can be used during naming of an organic compound. As we have understood how an IUPAC name will look like, now we will discuss the rules for naming an organic compound using IUPAC nomenclature. Rule 1. First, we have to identify the longest chain of carbon atoms and we have to name it as a root word. So if suppose if you have seen over an example over here, the longest chain consists of 6 atoms. Hence the word root is written as hexane and the substituent methyl group is present at the second position. So name will be 2-methyl hexane. Rule number 2. We have to number the carbon atoms which are present in the parent chain so that it will get least possible number to the substance or the function group present over the chain. And these positions are called as locant numbers. If you see an example over here, generally the left side is represented as wrong. Why? Because The halogen which is attached, it is getting fifth position. Whereas if you see on the right hand side represented example, the halogen is getting the first number or first locant number. So the right side one will be correct numbering for the compound. Rule 3. When two or more substances are present, the end of the pairing chain which gives the lowest set of locants is preferred for numbering, and the order of preference is followed by Fitt's rule, which represents F for functional group, which will be given as a more priority, followed by double bond and then by triple bond, and finally by the substituent. So if you see an example over here, here two functional groups are present, COH and chlorine. Among both, COH is considered as the most important functional group. That's the reason it is taken as the suffix. And whereas chlorine, even though it is a functional group, it is considered as a substituent and written as prefix. And when you give the numbering also, you should get the main functional group the least possible number according to the Fitt's rule. So carboxylic acid will be given as the first position and the numbering will be given from left hand side to right hand side. Then 5-chloro will be the position for your substituent, and as 5 carbons are there in the compound, the root name will be pent, and whether in primary suffix, whether it is saturated or unsaturated means as it contains double bond at second position, so primary suffix is written as 2-ene, and our main functional group is written as a secondary suffix as 1-oic acid. So overall name will be 5-chloro pent 2-ene 1-oic acid. Generally, when we give the locant numbers, they are separated with each other by comma, and whereas the locant and the word will be separated by hyphen. Rule number 4. The number prefixes can be used as di, tri, tetra, or use it to indicate the presence of two or three more similar functional groups. Here, if you see an example, a 4-carbon containing compound has two OH groups at first and fourth position. That's the reason we are using di over here. So name will be butane 1,4 diol. Rule number 5. If different substituents are present in equivalent position, always remember that we have to consider the alphabetical order for naming the substituent. So if you see over here, total 6 carbon containing compound is there, but either side when you are giving the numbering, either ethyl group or methyl group, both are at the third position. So we have to apply here alphabetical order. Ethyl will be the first alphabet than methyl. That's the reason ethyl is considered as more priority and least possible number is given to that. So definitely we have to give the numbering from left hand side to right hand side. So it will be a compound like 3-methyl, 4-methyl, hexene. Then coming to rule number 6, when more than one functional groups are present, one functional group is chosen as primary functional group and written in the suffix, while others are regarded as substituents and written as prefixes. The same example which we have discussed in the earlier slide we are discussing over here. So chlorine and carboxylic acid, among both, chlorine is considered as substituent and written as 5-chloro. Root word will be the number of carbon atoms present in the compound. So total 5 carbons are there. So pent, and as a double bond is present at the second position, it is 2-ene, and the carboxylic acid is considered as a secondary suffix. So it is called as 1-oic acid. So overall the name will be 5-chloro-pent 2-ene 1-oic acid. So priority order is very much important. If more than two functional groups are there, this is the priority order which we have to follow. So carboxylic acid followed by sulfonic acid followed by anhydrides, esters, acid chlorides, acid amides, nitriles, and then followed by aldehydes, ketones, alcohols, amines, alkenes, and alkenes. So in this priority order only we have to give the nomenclature. The group higher in the preference series is written as suffix, and while the other lower functional groups would be written as prefixes. So one more example we are going to consider over here. Here overall 5 carbon containing compound is present. In these two functional groups are present, that is carboxylic acid and ketone group. Among both, carboxylic acid is the more priority group. So it is considered as a suffix and written at the last, whereas our ketone group will be considered as a substituent. So as it is present at the third position, we are writing the keto group as prefix, and the nomenclature says that ketone, while writing in the prefix, it should be written as oxo. So 3-oxo pentane. Ane means there is no double bond in the parent chain. So we have represented the primary suffix as "ane" and secondary suffix as 1-oic acid. So overall compound will be 3-oxopentane 1-oic acid. I hope you understand well about the naming of an organic compound using the Iupac nomenclature. Thank you.